Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and what I have in front of me today is this dual key safety deposit box lock, which was kindly gifted to me by Restall. And this is a really cool little sort of dual custody lock. It uses a flat key like this, and you can see that there are cutouts. One here, which is so that the key can turn inside this housing. If you didn't have that notch, then you'll be able to get you'll be able to get the key in and not turn it. And then you've got some lever cutaways which are here. So I don't know how many levers there are, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be about 7 levers in there for all I know. Might be 5. Well, open it up and have a look. But this turns around, and you can see, if you look through this little gap here, the lever pack lift up, and the bolt wants to withdraw in, and it can rest on the levers, but it won't open fully until the levers in this lever pack are lifted up too, and that needs another key. Now I'm lucky enough that my friend Pete Restall had a key blank just like this. Now it isn't 100% the same, but it does have a little cutout, and we can make that bigger if we need to. It seems to be roughly the same size, and most importantly, it does actually fit, for the most part, into this side. It's a little bit tall, so will need to be just ground down a bit. But other than that, yep, you can see it just needs to be ground down a little bit. But other than that, I reckon it's going to fit, because it does actually sort of fit in terms of width, which is probably the most important thing. So before I go away and I try to cut a key, let's undo this and have a look inside. Should be able to just push this out in theory. There we go. That's one side, and let's have a look. So you can see here that what we've got is actually 5 levers on one side. So if I hold it down with my thumb so they don't all spring out, put the key in to the back and turn it, hopefully you can see just down there. Move the lighting a little bit for you if I can. There we go. You can see that as I turn that key, the levers are lifted. Now, it turns out that the first cut is actually not needed for lifting the levers. So it's only, turn it back out, remove that. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only those cuts there, between there and there, which are active. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the rest aren't. So that's quite interesting. I imagine it's just so that it can sort of reach in, and there'll be the ones at the back here are going to be activating the bolt talon at the back. So I might lift out those levers in a minute and show you that. And we have the same here on this side, but there's only 2 levers, and the same bolt mechanism runs through the entire lock. Very interesting actually the way this is. So it's only going to be, again, the tip, which locates at the back of the lock, this part which acts on the bolt talon on the bolt mechanism. You can see the bolt stumps here and here for the dual mechanism, and then it's probably only going to be that much there which are going to be the levers. So what I'm going to do is measure all of this up, grind the key down so it fits into the lock, and then measure carefully how much I need to take off to get those levers to lift. Now if I look at those levers here, it looks to me like they are flat and actually together and need to be lifted by the same amount. So there doesn't need to be any differing heights on that key. I just need to lift those two levers up slightly to that amount. So what I'm going to do is just start with the key blank, cut it so that I've got a bit which will act on the bolt, and then just carefully file away at the tip until they lift to the right height. Seems easy enough, doesn't it? Well, let's see how I get on. In the meantime, should we just lift out a couple of levers to show you? I'll take this out. There you go. Ignore that one for now. Just take out these two levers to show you what I mean about the bolt talon at the back. Okay, so that's interesting, isn't it? It looks to me actually there isn't a bolt talon on this side. How curious. And let's have a look at those levers together. They are exact. So yes, they do only need to be lifted to the same height. This is, I'm going to turn these levers out to this side so that I don't lose the order of them, because that will just be unnecessary work for me. And it looks like there's only one talon on the customer key side, not the control key side. So the first key is the one which the customer would have, and the second one is one that the bank or company who owns safe deposit box lock would have. And yes, you can see here that, look at that, there's only one talon. This is the talon, this gap here, and that would pull the bolt all the way back through as long as this key lifts those levers up. So there isn't a dual talon system here. Don't know if that even exists. It might not, might have just made that one up. But that's how this lock works. I'm going to go away, try and file a key down, and see if we can't get this actually open with two keys as intended. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've just been outside, and this is what I've done with a handheld rotary tool. If I put the blank in now into the lock to the back till it stops and turn it, holding the levers, you should see that when the key stops, that bolt stump is dead center and able to slide in. That should work in theory. Let's put it back together and see how it goes. So pop this in like that, move all those that way. These were all, it's quite nice actually, you can see that it has a number 3, so that's obviously a sort of a lever number 3 in terms of its height. I've got a nothing on there, another number 3, so that's the same height of lever. And actually that makes sense when you look at this, because you've got two the same steps, then I expect the next two to be the same numbers. 2, yep, that would make sense. So if my theory is correct, the next one should be a 2 as well. 2. Now I wonder if after I've taken this apart this will work. Then last but not least a 3, and actually that makes sense because that's the same height as those ones, so 3, 3, 2, 2, 3 is the levers. And there we go, get on there, okay. That's all there, so I need to just pop this over the top, align those in the centre so it all fits together. There we go. Put the screw back in, and then hopefully we might just have, maybe, possibly just have a working dual custody lock. So I come in, I'm the bank, hello, check your credentials, yes you are Mr. Smith, put my key in all the way to the back, and you'll see that when it goes in it should locate at the back, turn it until it stops, and then in theory, maybe I haven't got it all just right. If you look in there, it looks like though once it's all assembled, it's not lifting the levers quite to the right height. So that's okay. It means I need to grind it down a little bit less. But when I slide this one in, that'll turn in, and then you can see that in theory that would work if I ground down this key a little bit further. That's actually kind of cool. I might just hand file it now just to get the last bit. It worked really well with that when it wasn't assembled, but it clearly just needs a little bit of extra filing. Much better that way than the alternative way where I've taken too much off, so I think that's a good sign. Let me just get a finger file on that and we'll come back to it and see if I can't get it working. Okay, 2 seconds. And now, with only the smallest amount of fettling required, if I put this key in all the way, turn it, leave it like that, I can then go away and read my newspaper while the customer comes in, uses their customer key, opens it up. Everybody is happy. It's fully retracted on both keys. It won't go any further. It looks like it's not fully retracted. It is. That cannot go any further. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. That was really cool. And thank you to both Ratlock for the gift of the awesome lock, and to Pete Restall for providing the key blank so that I can have a proper working dual custody key. That's awesome. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. I had a lot of fun learning about this lock, and hopefully I'll see you next time.